Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 15.
Blair, I called your name.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm going to have to go at you this episode.
Okay.
I'm going to say some things you're not going to like. Mm-hmm. And just know that out of everything I say, I love you. Okay?
Thank you.
Do you appreciate my love?
I appreciate it.
Do y'all love me?
I love you too.
Can y'all subscribe to me? Can y'all subscribe to Blair? Can y'all subscribe? Can y'all like? Can y'all comment? Can y'all share? Are y'all ready to walk through this episode of Potomac? I feel like we're entering into Housewives of Potomac hell. I feel like it's a lot of episodes.
Yes.
Are you ready, Blair?
I'm ready.
Let's walk us through this.
We start where we left off.
Yeah.
Where Robyn and the ladies were talking about how Wendy and Candiace were making faces.
Facts.
Wendy walks over, asks the ladies, what are we talking about?
Facts.
First, nobody says anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was dead silence. Then Robyn tells Wendy and Candiace, even before that, Gizelle said, we'll talk about it later.
Mm-mm.
What's later?
No.
we ain't doing nothing. We just sitting here. Why are we talking about it later?
Exactly.
So Robyn tells Wendy and Candiace that they were making faces while Gizelle was talking about her daughter, and she didn't like it. Mm-hmm. Wendy clarifies that she isn't going to speak about Gizelle's daughter because she has weaponized Grace against her in the past by saying that Wendy was looking at her crazy.
They showed a flashback, and from the first look of it, I was like, I don't really see how she looked at her crazy. Mm-hmm. But I watched it again, and I wouldn't qualify it as crazy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a normal look.
Okay.
But it wasn't like a...
mean.
It wasn't... It... Like, dude, you know how y'all women say y'all have like a resting bee face or something like that?
Okay.
It was kind of... I think it was more like that than crazy.
Okay.
And things like that. You think the look was crazy that Wendy gave?
I didn't think it was crazy. I think she was just looking at what Grace was wearing. And I think Grace had on just like a short like dress or something like that.
Okay.
I could definitely be reaching. But it looked like she was just like looking at like... not just like, oh, like, hey, how you doing? And just going about her business. It looked like she was like, just like taking in like, okay, like this is Grace, this is the daughter, this is what she's wearing. Like, it just seemed like she was just like kind of looking at her maybe longer than she needed to.
Yeah, I just don't want to qualify that Gizelle as crazy.
No, I didn't think she was looking at her crazy. But she was like looking and I think like paying attention to whatever she was wearing or whatever. It was just like a longer look than probably necessary.
Apples and oranges, Gizelle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, that's subjective.
That's subjective. It's just our opinion.
Well, Candiace isn't usually listening when Gizelle speaks. But when it comes to her kids, she wants her kids to be well. Wendy and Candiace say that the energy has nothing to do with anybody's children. Pretty much. They just don't be feeling Gizelle.
What did you think about this scene so far when it came to just that in itself?
I appreciated Wendy approaching the conversation and just having it head on. I think that if she wouldn't have done it, I doubt Candiace would have did it.
No.
So I just appreciated Wendy them actually having the moments where they confront an issue. I feel like they talk around each other.
You took my notes.
They talk about each other.
Come on.
And it was nice to see them actually speaking to each other about an issue and actually squashing it. Whether they still like each other or not, but for Wendy and Candiace to say, no, don't start conflating issues and now I'm talking about your daughter, now I'm making funny faces about your daughter. Like, it's not that deep. No.
Blair, you hit the nail on the head.
Okay.
I don't even know if I should just even speak, but I'm going to speak.
Go ahead and speak.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
For one, if it would have left silently and then they just would have quote unquote talked about it in the confessionals, I think that's the problem with Candiace's role on the show. Right? We see Candiace, she always talking about like when Gizelle speak, I can't stand to be around Gizelle, blah, 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 blah. It comes off like, then what are you doing on the show then? Yeah. Like if you're not going to address the issue in a way that quote unquote progress the show, we don't need you to quote unquote bomb Gizelle every time you talk to her and like you still got to work with the lady, right? But I like the fact that Wendy came and she confronted the issue, because what's the point of something happening on the show and not being talked about on the show? Right. You get what I'm saying? That pushes the quote unquote storyline further. That gives more in depth. That gives, for one, a better scene, right? Yeah. The one thing that I would disagree with, which we would actually have a quote unquote Karen is going to echo that, Robyn, you're not Grace's mother.
True.
You're not Grace's aunt. You get what I'm saying? So if Gizelle had a problem, or quote unquote had a problem with the faces, and Wendy said, what is the problem? I would have liked Gizelle to say, you was making faces while I was speaking about my daughter.
Yes.
Do you get what I'm saying? And truth of the matter is, the only thing, this is a conversation about faces. And the only reason why for one, it's nothing, but for two, the only reason why I will only give Gizelle and Robyn bail on this, just a little bit of bail. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, if Gizelle and Robyn was making faces while Wendy and Candiace was talking, y'all know y'all wouldn't have liked that either.
And they do. Gizelle and Robyn always like having little side
and that's the main
looks. Even at Eddie's, what was it? The event, like she was over there,
the
like
Happy Eddie joint.
Yeah, the Happy Eddie joint. I mean, she was laughing, talking, and all that type of stuff. But when it comes to Wendy and Eddie, I'm sure they make faces and laugh behind their backs, in front of their faces.
But I'm just saying, as obvious as the camera cuts was for that scene.
Yeah.
Me personally, if someone's making faces but they're not gonna say anything, I'm not gonna count it. The only reason why I would count it for this one is because if Gizelle and Robyn was making faces, y'all would have a problem with that too. Me personally, I don't have a problem with nobody making faces because I'm like, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? If you ain't gonna say nothing, then you ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah, speak up or shut up.
But I don't, and that's my whole point with that's my whole point with Gizelle. Robyn is the over here playing bodyguard and basically picking up someone else's burden of why are you making faces about somebody's daughter. Worry about your kids. Worry about your husband. Worry about things that concern you. If Gizelle not gonna say nothing, then guess what? It won't be said.
Yeah, then it's not a problem.
Exactly. Let's go, Blair.
Well, the ladies are going to have a Havana Nights party for Ashley. She was supposed to throw one for her birthday before they left, but due to the air quality last year, it was bad because of the forest fires and all that. Well, the ladies come out for dinner, and Ashley is wearing a barely there outfit.
Okay.
Karen asks Robyn and Candiace if there's any hope for progression in their relationship.
Yeah.
Robyn says that Candiace thinks she did nothing wrong to me.
Yeah.
She slandered me and told multiple people I participated in a plot to cover up for my husband.
Facts.
Robyn has repeatedly said that she didn't think Chris had any bad intentions, and she feels that she shouldn't have even supported her if it would have gotten them to this point. Candiace doesn't know if she believes the thing she said anymore because Ashley asked, so do you still think what you thought before? And Candiace is like, I don't know. At this point, it doesn't even matter.
What?
Candiace believes that she presented herself as a friend to Robyn. And Robyn says Candiace chose to go to Twitter rather than support me during my firestorm.
Can we stop right there for a second?
Yes.
I'm going to make you do something, and I apologize. Scroll back up to the top, all the way up to the top, and tell me what episode this is again.
15.
This is episode 15. Why are we having this episode? Why are we having this conversation in episode 15? That's the problem. When you have division within the cast, right? We spent time in, I think it was Austin, Texas, or like wherever they went. We had time at places where we went to Karen's property. We had time where we went basically anywhere and everywhere for no reason and didn't have a conversation. We had women putting on other women's slippers. We had all these things about the shrine mess that basically we don't care about. This is the conversation we should have had episode 2.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? And now we at the end of the season to where we're like, okay, I guess we're getting it. And truth of the matter is, Candiace, you was 100% wrong. Do not try to tell me when Robyn says that is defamation. And she's like, how is it defamation when I'm speaking my mind? What?
Yeah, you said I did something I didn't do. That's the point. And Candiace doesn't want to see the point. She doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe Robyn when she says that she had played no parts in it. Yeah. And that's fine. Don't believe it. So why are you trying to be friends with this lady after you said all of this stuff? Just stand in what you said.
Come on.
But apparently she can't stand in what she said and be friends with Robyn at the same time.
Blair.
So that leaves her in this conundrum to where she has to pretend like she doesn't know what's going on.
During this Women's History Month, you are hitting the nail on the head on this episode.
Thank you.
But I will say this whole thing, Candiace says something, I don't know you have it in the notes. She says something specifically about Robyn want to be the victim.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. Candiace, what you have done throughout most of this episode is robbed us of the Robyn and Juan basically storyline. Because you wanted to take us back to Chris basically SA.
Yeah.
Or being accused of SA. of things of that nature, or alluded to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We, for one, we was on your side. We was basically like, hey, he didn't do anything, but you kept wanting to bring us back to that past. And we wanted to move forward and get on this whole train of Juan, Robyn. Every episode, I want to see Juan. Every episode, I want to see Robyn. Y'all need to talk.
Yeah.
Right? So this whole thing of playing victim, Candiace, you're playing victim. Because every time something happens, even in the last scene, she said, how come when I make faces is now a problem? Candiace, stop it.
I really get annoyed with that tit for tat thing. Like, yes, Candiace, there are different rules for you. We know. We get it. It is what it is. It's not fair. It's not right. But you calling it out doesn't change anything. And you just sound like you're whining. And
at the end of the day, they showed the flashback, and as much as Blair may not be a fan of Robyn, as much as y'all may not be a fan of Robyn, Robyn factually actually was the one who said, hey, Gizelle, you're tripping.
Yes.
She was right there saying, hey, look, man, this is not it. Mm-hmm. Right? And then she came at the reunion and said, should a married man be alone with a woman in a hotel room? I don't think my wife would like that for me.
Right.
I don't care. We on the cast or whatever. But at the same time, I don't know if she was, quote unquote, throwing subliminals at Juan.
Right.
Like at that point, even if Robyn was to say that, was that enough for you to go on everybody's platform or go on Twitter and basically call Robyn a liar and basically talked about her as if y'all wasn't friends, but then be the first one to cry when you're like, I don't know why me and Robyn beefing. Candiace, stop gaslighting me, sweetheart.
And the thing is, like, with her, I really feel like if she would just acknowledge what she's done.
That was her time to apologize right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or even apologize. But I think Candiace really believes it, and she cannot bring herself to apologize. And that's fine. Then you will not be this lady's friend.
No. No. And this woman said, which was actually a bar. I was like, wow, that's great. She said, if I would have known what I know now about what you said about me during this time, I wish I didn't defend you how I did before that. And I was like, that's facts. Because I'm like, if I'm going to defend you and defend your husband and quote unquote basically be like, hey, I don't think it was that. I think you're pushing it. I think you're dragging it. And then for you to come behind and basically be like, call me a liar, call me a fraud.
Yeah.
How you call me a friend but call me a fraud? Why you want to be friends with a fraud?
Exactly.
But then be like, I don't know what's her problem. I don't know what I did to her. Candiace, maybe because you treat everybody this way, you don't see the special way you treated Robyn. Robyn's just like, I'm not taking that.
And maybe Candiace feels like, and we've touched on it before, that, you know, people say things to each other, people get in arguments, and they're able to move forward. And maybe you feel that Robyn should be able to have that same grace with you, but you're not Gizelle.
No.
And yes, there's different rules for different people. It's not fair, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, so let's move on.
The same way as you can't stomach Gizelle, which I don't understand why you taking it that seriously, the same way as Robyn can't stomach being friends with you. Take it, moving on. Let's go, Blair. You are on a roll.
Okay. Gizelle brings out a cake for Ashley. Yeah. Ashley and Mia jump in the pool. Mm-hmm. Next, Gizelle, she pulls Karen for a chat the next morning to talk about why she didn't want to go to Surrey.
Scene of the night for me.
And she feels that when Karen is with Candiace and Wendy, she turns into a different person.
Yeah.
Gizelle thought there was a true intention, I guess, to make faces when it came to her daughter. Mm-hmm. And she wants to know, when is Karen going to stand up to say children are off limits? Karen says, like, I know this is hard for you guys, but I don't take sides. And it's getting old, people telling me what they want me to say. And Karen says, why, as a mother, why would you not say that to them? That's your baby. Karen doesn't say anything behind her back that she wouldn't say to her face. Then they show us a clip, and I'm just like, I feel like Karen would definitely say that to Gizelle's face.
Listen.
Calling her stupid and she ain't got nothing going for her. I feel like she would say that to her face. I do. Karen says that she will try to see everyone's side moving forward per Gizelle's request. And that's where they end that convo.
Do you want to go first or I go first?
You go first.
All right. So me being... Can I call myself new to this? I think I'm true to this now that I've been...
Yeah, you've been around.
Yeah,
you've been around the block a couple times with Potomac.
All I've been hearing this whole time is that Gizelle is the almighty Gizelle. You know what I mean? Gizelle divides the cast and she decides who stays and who goes and things of that nature. In this scene, this showed me that Gizelle is really as powerful as Karen, if not less than Karen. Because she went to Karen, someone who we all can agree that Gizelle, unfortunately, and Karen, fortunately, are the anchors of the show. They are the stars of the show.
Right.
And she went to Karen and she basically said, listen here, we need to be on one accord. Why didn't you say children are off limits and things like that? Because she wanted, basically, if Karen say it, then basically the women kind of got to fall in line.
Okay.
That right there, what Karen response was perfect. She said, you're the mother.
Yeah.
Why don't you say it? If we are the anchors of the show, quote unquote, you have the same amount of power as I do, unless you don't. That's my theory with Gizelle. I think we give Gizelle too much power, too much influence that is almost imaginary compared to actually real power, real influence. Now to go with what Gizelle said, Karen does act different amongst the groups, but that's not Karen's fault. That's Giselle's fault for being the dividing line and things like that, dividing the groups. I do feel like, how can I put it? I think when she goes around Wendy and when she goes around Candiace and things like that, she can feel the tension there, right? I think even the new girl that was there, that was Wendy's friend and things like that, Kiana, they can feel the tension and things like that. What do you expect Karen to do? Like, if Gizelle is saying, who is one of the anchors of the show, saying, I'm not going to talk to them, what do Karen supposed to do? I'm not going to talk to them either? Like she can't do that. That's not her role as the leader of the show.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We understand that Karen has boring storylines and things like that, making people go to her property and clean up and do yard work and things like that. But that is just a small fraction of what her real role of the show is. Her role as the leader of the show is to bring people together.
Yeah.
And if she feels like she has to be different with you compared to somebody else, I don't think we should look at Karen as like, hey, Karen, that's your fault. We got to look at the person that's causing the division, and that got to be Gizelle.
Yes.
What do you think so far before I get my part two?
Well, basically what I thought about it is I thought it was just really dumb in Gizelle.
Okay.
I mean, I get that Gizelle just needs an army of people supporting her at all times. Like it seems like it's hard. I don't know if it's hard for her to stand on her own, but she seems to do well with a posse. And I think Robyn is like her number one posse member. And for Karen, you don't need Karen to say that children are off limits. Like why? And I think for Gizelle, if you don't show up for her in the way that she expects as far as being on her side or on her team, then you're against her. Because even during that conversation, Gizelle was like, so are we not good? Are we good? Are we not good? And Karen was like, we're fine. I ain't got no issue with you.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to say that, you know?
Yeah.
But no, I don't think it was Karen's place to say anything. I think Gizelle, if you have an issue, then you need to speak up and have conversations with the people that you don't want to talk to. So that way. But I think that it's because, which I feel like there's a lot of people that you might find them at work, church, wherever you go, where people just want to keep stuff up. They don't really want to solve an issue. They just want to talk about you. They just want to have a problem. So that's what I think what Gizelle is. Like, she wants to have an issue with Wendy. She wants to have an issue with Candiace. And if she were to really talk to them, they might not have an issue no more.
So basically, it's not even that deep for real, maybe.
Maybe. I mean, I think because honestly,
with Candiace, it might be too far gone.
With Candiace, I think it might be too far gone. But at the same time, Gizelle is upset with these women for God knows what. She's the one who has inflicted issues with these women. Talking about Candiace's husband, and now she's saying, I ain't got no words for Candiace. Bringing up Wendy's body and saying how Eddie might be cheating, and now you don't want to talk to Wendy because Wendy got you together. Like somebody actually did something to you. Like, no, like you mess with these people and they have things to say. They respond.
Facts.
So Gizelle is a chop for me.
To address what you just said about Robyn is her biggest like posse person, it just shows that Robyn doesn't have the pull either, though.
No, I'm not saying that these people...
I understand that. I'm not talking about pull-wise.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, you can have as much people as you want. You can have Ashley on your side. You can have me on your side. You can have Robyn on your side. But it doesn't mean anything if you don't have a Karen on your side. You get what I'm saying? And she believes that Karen should be on her side because she's like, number one, I probably knew you longer. We are the stars of the show. And she probably feel like we can uphold the show on our own. Like me, you, Robyn, Ashley, Mia, we can do this alone. Even though I understand, don't jump on me.
Okay.
I understand everybody is black on this show, right? There is something that rubs me the wrong way when Gizelle says them.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And to me, it's, I don't want to say it's colorism and things like that. I think we throwing that word out there a little bit too loosely. But when she said,
I think it's mixed up in there.
She was like, why are you hanging with them?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you hanging? Like it's almost as if like they're below, but they on the show with you.
Right.
like, dude, you get what I'm saying? Like, why are you hanging with them?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, you mean my castmates? The ones who we are paid to talk to and interact with to make a good show?
Yeah.
Them? You talk about those?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's just something about them that kind of made me go, I ain't like how that landed, Gizelle.
Yeah.
Because to your point, if it was really that deep, I think I will understand Gizelle's beef. Mm-hmm. But it just can't be, I woke up today and I don't like them, so I'm not going to talk to them. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when you feel like you're bigger than the show, then Andy has to make a decision of what's more important, his show or the person who feels like they are above the show.
Right.
And by that alone, I would get rid of Gizelle. All this other reason why y'all get rid of Gizelle, I'm not with y'all. Right? I'm on strictly on, she feels like she's above the show. Because she feels like she could film with this person or say no to this person, not talk to this person, and that makes for a bad show. So by that alone, Gizelle got to go. No one is above the brand.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
But in addition to her cherry picking who she films with and who she speaks to, she has an influence over some of the cast members to where they don't want to be in good relationships with Wendy or Candiace because they don't want to be on Gizelle's bad side.
Yes.
And that is where the divisiveness comes in, to where people are just like, okay, well, not that this happened in this way, but, you know, Gizelle's not going to Surrey, so I'm not going to go. I didn't know that was an option. Whereas before, I think I'm not saying that might be a bad example. I know. But I'm just saying if everybody was on one accord and saying that we go to these cast events, we go to these cast trips, and we all show up, to have one person to say that I'm not going to do this, it does open up the floodgates for some other people to say, oh, well, I didn't know I could do that. Well, I'm not going either.
Yeah, and my only retort to that, and then we can continue on, is, do all that influence matter if you don't have Karen on your side? If Karen's the one voice that's against it and things like that, does it matter?
But I guess it matters because it impacts the show. So that's where it matters.
But not so much their employment.
No. Okay. It matters because it drives down the enjoyable watch of the show. And if it drives down the watch, less people are going to watch. And they all going to lose their job.
Everybody.
So that's where it matters.
And that's the only way I see Gizelle losing her job. The only way I see Gizelle losing her job is if they do a clean sweep of the show. I just don't see them getting rid of her and keeping everybody else. Even though I would say so. This is enough seasons. Gizelle can hang her hat on and say, listen here, I've been on here multiple seasons. I don't
think anyone's above getting fired.
Yeah. Let's go.
Well, Karen, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the ladies go out. They visit a 16th century church. Okay. They take a tour. They go to have lunch. Karen ends up telling the ladies that her trainer is this guy named Vernon, who's a former NFL player. Mm-hmm. Apparently, Ashley knows him. They're friends. They kind of chit-chat. They flirt here and there. Mm-hmm. She goes to the bathroom because she kind of doesn't really want to get grilled. But when she comes back, she just explains that it's nothing deep, but, you know, we talk from time to time. Mm-hmm. Karen, it brings up the conversation that Gizelle had with her earlier about her vibe changing around the girls. Mm-hmm. And Mia's like, I agree. Okay. Mia tends to just agree with whatever Gizelle or Robyn say. Robyn and Karen don't have the best relationship, so Robyn doesn't really have any expectations for Karen. Mm-hmm. Wendy says that her energy doesn't shift. It's just that she holds you guys accountable. Kiana says that, did you have anything to say about that?
I had something to say about the trainer thing.
Okay.
How did you feel about Robyn saying something about, hey, you should have a trainer that trains in the condition that you say you have?
That was later on.
Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't this scene.
No.
Okay, then let's keep going. Then I don't have nothing to say.
Yeah. Only thing I have to say about Karen's vibe changing around who she's around, I feel like that's how it should be. Like, I don't know. Like, yes, I feel like you should be yourself through and through, no matter who you're with. But certain tactics don't work for certain people. I feel like with Gizelle, you got to be rougher around her because she's a rough girl. You know what I'm saying? Like with Wendy and Candiace, she has like, I think, a more playful personality. Like, so I just feel like.
And also, I think Wendy and Candiace respects Karen's role on the show.
And they respect her as, not to be rude, like, but as an elder. Like, I think they have respect for her for being an older married woman. And I don't think that the other women look at her in that way. Mm-hmm. They kind of view her as a peer or somebody they can make fun of when it comes to her relationship with Ray or her finances or renting a house. Like, you know, they consider her more of a peer and they will play with her.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Facts.
Yeah. But Kiana says that there's this big underlying issue that they can all sense between Gizelle and, I wrote Candiace, but I think she said Gizelle and Wendy. But Wendy says, you know, when you see us go, I think she said Candiace, but Wendy spoke up.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Wendy said when you see us go at it, it's because we were friends.
Oh, okay.
Wendy and Gizelle both say that they're currently not friends. Mm-hmm. But I still feel like Wendy would be open to being friends with Gizelle.
And I feel like Gizelle is open to at least being an associate, like not being friends.
I don't know. Giselle acts like she hates Wendy. It's really weird.
I like you said, it goes back to your point of what did Wendy do? With Candiace, I can be like, okay, Candiace, like, okay. But Wendy, I'm like, Wendy never gathers nobody like the way Candiace does. So I'm like, why do you feel such...
Well, she gathered her up good.
Not like Candiace, because she said, I got death threats. And that was attributed to how Candiace and things like that. Because you know how Candiace got a fan base and they basically like, we want to see you gather Gizelle. Okay. So she attributed death threats and her safety, as she liked to use that word, to what Candiace did. I didn't hear her speak of that to Wendy. No. Or speak of it like... So it's to your point. I think Wendy's open to it just off the strength of like, hey, look, like you really didn't do nothing to me that deep. And like with Gizelle, I'm like, what did Wendy do to you that's so deep to where it's just like, you like, we ain't gonna talk. And I'm just like,
and then Wendy and Gizelle, they clicked immediately at first too because they're sorors.
Yeah.
So I think there's a bond there in that sorority stuff that Wendy respects. Yeah. And would like to be on good terms. Yeah. But so the ladies split up for activities. Yeah. Wendy, Mia, Candiace, and Karen go to play tennis. Robyn, Gizelle, Nneka, Kiana, and Ashley go ski shooting. Mm-hmm. So Gizelle asks Kiana how she feels with being on this trip with everybody. Mm-hmm. She's having a good time getting to know everyone one-on-one. Robyn asked if Wendy tried to tell her about people in the group or say certain people she shouldn't hang around with. And Kiana said no, she didn't do anything like that.
I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that because that's Robyn digging for basically like, hey, have they been gossiping about us and things like that? Trying to use it as like, if she would have said yes, that would have been her door to basically talk bad about them. Yes. But I like the fact that, what's her name? Kiana was like, no, Wendy just been chilling. Which kind of leads me to believe that most of the disdain that y'all have against them, y'all causing it and keeping it up. Yes. Like the them ain't talking about y'all. Yeah. When y'all not in the room. But go ahead, keep going.
Well, Kiana said no, she didn't do that. She's like, the sentiment was there that she wasn't really getting along with Gizelle, but she never outright said like she doesn't like Gizelle. Mm-hmm. Their main issue that was going around was with Nneka. Yeah. And Kiana says, you know, if it was me and I wanted to move forward with somebody, I would just apologize and be done with it. And at that point, that's when Nneka walks in and kind of gets the tail end of the conversation. And she's just like, well, why should I have to apologize when I've been offended as well? Facts. And Nneka tells her to stop stirring the pot. Facts. And Kiana tells her, like, you know what? Stirred it, stewed it, dumped it. Like, I'm over it. Like, it's not a big deal to me. I just gave my opinion on it.
What did you think of that, Blair?
Well, really, I feel like Nneka was coming a little too hard and taking the conversation too deep. Kiana was trying to answer Robyn's question. That was really all she was trying to do. Like, and in her answering the question, yes, there was an issue with Nneka that took precedence, and Kiana would have handled it differently. Now, Nneka, I don't know why, like, she gets so defensive. I really don't get it. I really don't get it. I understand that she was offended by the situation, but Kiana was not coming at you, coming for you. Like, it was literally just a conversation. Yeah. So I'm still turned off by Nneka.
And Kiana, her name, right? Yes. Kiana, relax. You haven't earned your flute yet. Okay? You haven't earned your role on the show. Relax. The reason why I say that is because I'm going off the assumption of if y'all are friends, as Wendy and Kiana is, right? I'm sure Wendy told you parts of the reason why her and Nneka do not get along. But Wendy only told you the part that quote unquote supports her. So for you to say, if it was me, I would just apologize and move forward, even though quote unquote it comes off as if you chose a side and you basically just like, hey, you just apologize and move forward, to where technically she should just say y'all should just apologize to each other and move forward. If she just would have said that, I would have had no problem with it.
Okay.
But the fact that she said, if it was me, I'll just apologize and move forward. And at that point, I can understand that could be like, for one, I'm the one that actually has a flute on the show. I'm the one that's on the show. I'm the one that actually know what happened. I'm the offended party. Don't come over here stirring anything. I don't care. Stir it, dump it, stew it, whatever you want to call it. Because she got a little tight a little bit. But I'm just like, if you were completely neutral, you would say, if it was me, I would just say y'all should apologize to each other. But you said, if it was me, I would just apologize, basically put it on Nneka to apologize. And I'm like, you don't even know the full story. You only know Wendy's side. So don't put it on me to apologize to her when I feel offended too. So that's the only part that I agree with Nneka with. Even then, I'm still not a fan of Nneka on the show. Truth be told, I will put Nneka and Wendy in the room, and I would say only one of y'all can be on the show. Y'all decide which one.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because I can't have both of y'all on the show next season.
Right.
I can't. Okay? Go ahead.
Moving on, Mia tells the ladies at tennis how she used to put her foot on men's chest in the club back in the day.
Okay, queen.
And Mia asked what everyone is thinking about Ashley and this divorce.
Yeah.
Mia thinks Ashley's scared to leave. She thinks she's a gold digger. Candiace says that Ashley might feel abandoned, and because her father left her, this might be like another father figure abandoning her. Karen went through a divorce before Ray, and it was very painful. And when Mia left her first child's father, she left with a couple $100, took the baby, and she left. Wendy says that she thinks Ashley wants a divorce, but she just doesn't have the heart to do it right now.
Ashley don't want no divorce. Ashley, we gonna find out eventually.
Well, Ashley don't want to be with Michael, but she wants to still be part of the finances. So
that's what I'm saying. She don't want a divorce.
Yeah.
Like she may not want to be with him, but she wants. How can you not want to be with me? Which I understand, Michael is his own case and things of that nature, but you still want me.
Okay.
Like, that's my finances. That's me. You get what I'm saying? And I'm like, Ashley, I thought you would have had enough money piled away from being on this season this long. Because if it's up to me, once the season's over and I start giving out pink slips, you're number one. Because we have Mia now. And Mia and Ashley basically play the same role. Mia just plays it a lot better.
That's true.
You get what I'm saying? So Ashley would be number one off the show next season if it was up to me.
Yeah, and Ashley's calmed down quite a bit since having kids. So, yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. We just don't. You did a good job to this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, everyone is getting ready for dinner.
Yeah.
Ashley FaceTimes Michael to see the kids, and then he eventually cuts off the camera.
Of course.
Because if he ends up on film, he is going to sue Ashley.
Yeah, he said, listen here, I don't want to be on y'all little TV show. The minute she said, I'm filming, he was like,
Yeah. Well, the ladies go to dinner.
Yeah.
Wendy says that Mia thinks Ashley is a gold digger when they were talking about the divorce earlier. Mia talks about how Ashley was adamant about the divorce, but she doesn't want one now, probably because of the money. Yeah. Mia says that she might have gotten married for money because Ashley asks, is that why you got married? She said maybe.
Listen here.
Kiana brings up, what about the inheritance? Giselle's like, we all know that's a lie.
Hey.
Ain't no doggone inheritance.
Kiana, that's why I told you to relax. Your job as the friend that came on the trip is to watch the drama, not to ask questions that we all know the answer to. The minute that she said she had inheritance, we were just like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, she just wants Ashley to be honest with herself. Listen here. That's why Mia is a better Ashley. Because Mia was like, I think... Ashley was like, Mia was like, I think you're a gold digger, Ashley. Ashley was like, I think you married going in for his money. She said, maybe. I'm like, yo, she don't care. She don't care. She's like, listen here, maybe. There's nothing you can do to shame Mia.
The only thing with Mia is she don't need to be throwing drinks and fighting people. If she can keep it to verbal, we good.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the divorce, Michael would only take care of the kids.
Financially?
Child support, yeah. The joint account they have is for her to care for the children. She does have an emergency credit card, but she doesn't want to use it.
Because she was instructed probably not to use it.
Robyn asked Karen, why is she being trained by somebody who's not a trainer?
This is where I was confused at. Yeah, go ahead.
Karen tells her that she's in good shape. And then Robyn asks her, are you in good shape or do you have an heart issue? Like, which one is it? Karen has had private trainers and it is her journey on how she wants to be trained.
Yeah.
Karen wants to work on her inner thighs. They make a song and dance about it. Robyn thanks everyone for coming on the trip and we are out of here.
What's Karen's husband's name again?
Ray.
Right. Listen here. They just alluding at Karen over here having fun time.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I would say this, Robyn, I'll give you a minus for, listen here. The same way as y'all felt some type of way about playing with Mia's cancer scare or like whatever it was, don't play with people's conditions.
Yeah, she told you her health issue and
like
and you don't have to make light of it.
Even if it is a minor thing that basically happens to, like, the older you get, your heart is going to. You get what I'm saying? And even though like Karen says she's good, I wouldn't be like, are you healthy or is your heart messed up? I'd be like, yeah. I'll be like, and then on top of that, because nobody laughed except for Gizelle. You know how Gizelle did her little fake laugh?
Yeah.
I was like, that didn't land right.
No.
That didn't land right. You get what I'm saying? I do think, like, hey, why are... I think as a housewife type of thing to say, why are you being trained by a personal trainer that's not a trainer? That's a... You know what I mean?
That's fair.
That's nice nasty.
Yeah.
That's what y'all are. You know what I mean? But the other things, I just would have stayed out of it. What do you think of this episode so far, Blair?
Overall, it was decent.
Yeah.
I appreciated actual conversations happening, even though it was still a lot of muteness on Gizelle's part, which is like really annoying. But hey, she can decide who she wants to or who she don't want to talk to, and you know, hopefully, if she don't want to talk to nobody, then she can not talk to nobody at home and not be on camera.
Facts.
Be at your house, don't talk to nobody, and just be gone.
Facts. Just to talk on Ashley real quick, I almost forgot about you, Ashley. Do you think Ashley broke?
Do I think she's broke?
I think she is, man.
I don't know if she's broke. Well, I guess what do you qualify as broke? Maybe like living paycheck to paycheck type thing? Yeah, I do
That's
think that.
broke.
Okay.
Why is she living... If Michael pays for everything, why is she living paycheck to paycheck? She said he handles her car note.
Yeah.
Why can't you pay for a car?
Yeah.
Like my whole thing is she been on the show for as long as this show been on. You're not gonna be on next season. I don't see it for you, Ashley. But I'm like, I think I don't want to say she's living beyond her means, because if Michael's paying for it, then it is what it is.
But she could still be living beyond her means if she's like spending money on like luxury items and taking trips and all this type of stuff, just using her money as free money versus like saving and investing. But I think that's why she was trying to get this athleisure wear together with Gizelle, because she needs
and that ain't gonna work
to have another stream of income, because this show is not guaranteed.
But she been guaranteed up to this point. How come she haven't been putting checks away? Which leads me to my point. Like, you over here trying to gather Candiace and things like that with how she got her in her inheritance and then her money and things like that. But you over here only using the card. Michael said only use it for Uber Eats.
Yeah.
If I see another transaction on there that's not Uber Eats, me and you gonna have a problem. Saying that we have a joint account that's only for the kids, and then saying I have a credit card but only used for emergencies. You sound like...
No, Ashley's not in a good spot. She didn't play her hand well. She signed that paperwork without reading.
You're in hell.
Like, she is really under the thumb of this man and whatever he feels like. Yeah.
I don't even know why you feel secure, but it is what it is. Make sure y'all subscribe, like, share, comment, all the above. Anything else, Blair?
That's all I got.
Y'all be good.
Bye.